Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
There are over 1,000 kids in Cedars care today. We're here to ensure that each of them receives the safety and stability they deserve. But we need your help. A gift to Cedars will make an immediate impact on Lincoln's kids. And on Give to Lincoln Day, your gift goes even further with the available matching funds. I'm Jim Blue, president of the Cedars organization, and I'm asking you to go to givetolincolnday.com to make your gift to Cedars and support Lincoln kids today.
What's better than beautiful jewelry from Sartor Heyman? How about 60% off Sartor Heyman jewelry? 2 days only at the outlet by Sartor Heyman. For 2 days only, everything in the outlet store is 60% off. Friday, May 17th and Saturday, May 18th only, all jewelry is 60% off. Get in early for best selection. When it's gone, it's gone. The outlet by Sartor Heyman, 12th and O, downtown Lincoln only. Go to sartorheyman.com for details.
I'm Ryan Osted. Golf is great because it can be whatever you want it to be. If you want to go out and have a competitive 18 holes, you can make it that. If you want to go out and have a scramble and just have the time of your life, if you want to have a charity golf tournament to raise money for some great cause, you can make it that. It is flexible to be whatever you need it to be at that particular moment in your life. And I've needed golf to be different things at different points in my life. And I'm certainly thankful that I was able to learn the game as a kid and continue to play it now as an adult.
Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see mainly sunny skies and some light winds with an afternoon high around 78. Tonight, expecting mainly clear skies with an overnight low around 54. And tomorrow, mainly sunny skies return, a little warmer with a high around 84. I'm meteorologist Kyle Cluck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
It's, hey, he looked as advertised. He looked really good in the spring game. And because of that, we're going back to a bowl game this year, is what Husker fans are telling them. So I think the fans have a more realistic perspective, and I think this coaching staff has done a really good job of handling Dylan Raiola and the expectations around him.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Why wait until Friday to start your weekend?
Go ahead, start right now.
You're thirsty now, and 93.7 The Ticket is here to help you stock up.
Just in time for the weekend when I like to hit the clubs.
Time to broaden your horizons and try some new wine and beer. It's Thirsty Thursday with Kevin Meyer from Meyer's Cork and Bottle.
Ooh, that's clean.
That was clicky. Clicky.
You hear that sound, you know it's Thirsty Thursday on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. This is Old School, brought to you by the Mercado. Everything they have pairs well with a nice glass of wine from Meyer's Cork and Bottle. Kevin Meyer, Meyer's Cork and Bottle, welcome in, good sir.
Gentlemen. Wait, no, I got to say this. Kevin Meyer, oh my goodness. Patio pounder. No, all I got to say is this, Austin. Kev from Meyer's Cork and Bottle brought the white because he knew I needed to pass it to the right.
Mm-hmm. He did.
Because if he would have brought the red, that pass would have been dead.
Old Stricky gets some alligator arms when we bring out the red. But
it's without fail.
It's we like to give him the business just for fun. Make Austin sweat a little bit that he might not get his share.
Like
so.
I'm getting into it. I enjoy it. I appreciate the fact that you're willing to share. Come every Thursday, and I want to partake. I want to enjoy. Like, I get it. I'm the youngest. I'm most inexperienced here, but like, dang it, I want my fair share.
Attaboy.
Where I'm at.
That's what we're here to do. So
That's why you go to the mill right over there and get you one instead of me passing it to you.
Kevin, we were talking off air. How was Willie last night?
Willie was awesome. I think that was the 4th time I've seen him. And sometimes, I mean, he's 91 years old, and so God bless him.
On the road again.
He's still out there picking, but
just can't
still out there
wait
kicking,
to get
but
on
also
kicking
the
and
road
picking.
again.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where it's so ingrained into his personal identity, being out there playing shows, that the day he can't do it is the day he dies.
Did you smell the
There was maybe a little
The
bit of
Snoop
that.
Dogg in the air?
There was a little bit of Willie rolling around. Yeah. I myself did not partake, but
the Willie roll?
that's right. But we weren't sure. My wife and I weren't sure if we were going to go because of the weather, and so we've been keeping a close eye on the radar. And it was scoring 4th row pit seats for like $68. So we were right in front of the stage. It was pretty cool. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's awesome.
had a great time.
Out at Pinewood?
Pinewood, yeah.
Pinewood?
Yeah, and it ended
Nice.
up being a beautiful night, perfect night for a show. And it was a good time.
Did you have either the beer or the wine that you brought in with you last night?
No, but
Would you have taken one
well,
if you were allowed?
They don't allow that, but they do sell concessions, and I did my best to support local business in that regard. So
Well done. What are we starting with today?
let's start with the wine. So this is a German wine, and we don't do German wines very often. Simply for the fact that they tend to lean on the sweeter side of things. And that's usually not the kind of wine that I drink. However, it's starting to feel more like summertime out there. So I thought, these are kind of great summertime wines. Back in 1978, when my father bought Myers Cork and Bottle, before then it was called Tavlin's Cork and Bottle. And German wines were the #1 selling category in the store. And the reason is because the American palate at the time leaned more toward the sweeter stuff. And the Germans are very unique. They're very type A. Everything has a category. Everything has a very precise condition that it has to fulfill. And so these wines are made in what's called a Qualitätswein mit Prädikat, which means quality wine with distinction. And the distinction is the pick. So when they pick the grapes, that determines what level of sweetness it is. So the earlier in the harvest, the drier the wine, the later in the harvest, the sweeter the wine, and they have a quantifiable level for each step of the way. So the very first pick is called a Cabinet. Literally means cabinet. They think it's the most versatile wine. It goes well with schnitzel. It goes well with sausage. It goes well with, kraut, German style fare. And it's just a very light hint of sweet. The next step is called a Spätlese, which means late pick, which is what we're having right now. And so the grapes have hung on the vine a little bit longer, therefore developing a little more residual sugar. But you'll notice it's like a fresh fruit type of a sweet versus a sugary type of sweet. Yeah. And the reason that is because they have a law against chaptalization. What chaptalization is just the addition.
Capitalization?
Like capitalization with an H. Yes.
Chaptalization.
Yes. So that means the addition of sugar. And so they can't add sugar to sweeten the wine. It has to come naturally from the grape itself. The next step after that is called an Auslese, which
that's German.
That's German as German gets. Yeah. And that literally means late cluster picked. Yeah. So they're actually hand sorting the individual clusters that meet the sweeter criteria, and they're out there with their lab, testing kits and all this kind of stuff. Then they have one even sweeter than that called Beerenauslese, which means late berry picked.
Beerenauslese.
That's right. Nice pronunciation. And and so they're actually hand sorting the individual berries from the stems to make the wine from. And then what happens is the grapes are on the vine. They're at a Beerenauslese level of sweetness. And they get winter in Germany too. It's not as bad as what we get here, but the grapes will freeze while still on the vine. And so they'll rush out like mad and pick the frozen fruit. And that's what the term ice wine comes from, or ice vine if you're German.
I think we had one of those. We brought one of those in over the winter.
Did I? I
so.
may have.
Pretty sure you
I
did.
need to do something real quick. Shout out to Patrick Farrell. I didn't get to shout him out on the last show, but Patrick Farrell, he's a big time, long time listener. And so I just wanted to shout him out real quick. We appreciate you, man. Continue listening in. All right, go ahead.
Thanks, Patrick Farrell. Come down to Myers Cork and Bottle and introduce yourself.
He's in Southern Mississippi, so he's up in Lincoln.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Send him your way. This is incredible. This is so good. Like, it's literally just white grape juice.
It almost,
Man.
fresh apple, fresh grape,
Yeah.
pear. I get a lot of pear flavor in there.
Riesling is the sweetest of the wines. Would
It
you say?
can be,
Or is it Zinfandel?
They can make dry Riesling too, and it all has to do with fermentation. So when you introduce yeast to the raw juice, it has a naturally high sugar content in it, and so that yeast can ferments and consumes the sugar and ferments into alcohol and carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is allowed to escape. The alcohol stays put. So if they stop fermentation early, which they can use by controlling the temperatures, that will retain more residual sugar and make the wine a little bit sweeter. So it all depends on when they harvest the grape and how warm the growing season was and things like that. So Moscato is also a generally sweet wine. They can make Riesling is generally on the sweeter side. The Hungarians make one called Tokaj, which is again kind of a nectary sweet dessert wine. So there's a lot of wines that can be made that way. It part of it's science, part of it is just the natural characteristic of the fruit.
Mississippi Mud Dog said you have never shouted him out on the show, and he listens all the time.
Mississippi Mud Dog, I love you, man.
There it is.
I don't have a computer in front of me. I can't. I don't know who's texting in, who's not. So
we make it happen here, baby.
Okay, 2 questions before we move on to the second selection. First of all, you
Drink it
mentioned
first.
the lab testing kit. When they test it, first of all, what's that kit look like, and like how similar are the grapes in each cluster? Is that why they test? They test each grape or just one grape, and they assume it speaks for the cluster?
Well, that's a great question. It probably depends on
how
on
close
that.
they are to each other.
Well, that and what harvest has brought, how quickly things have ripened and matured.
Did it just freeze?
Usually that happens late, and what's happening lately, just because of just natural climate conditions, they're having a tougher time making ice wine because it's too warm. And so, they don't get the right conditions in order to make it. And in Germany, you can't fake it. You can't take the grapes and freeze them. It has to happen naturally. So the bottles of ice wine that we see here in the U.S. are getting smaller and smaller and more expensive because they're just not making as much. And what they do make, they're not exporting much.
The next question then is, you mentioned the Germanic type A-ness. Does that help German wines hold up, or are they still like a distant fourth between your Italians, your Frenches, your Spanish in the wine world?
Well, I think it helps simply for the fact that you have quality controls in place that everyone has to follow in order to reach a certain category, that Qualitätswein mit Prädikat. In beer, they have what's called the German purity law. You can only use hops, grain, yeast, and water. Italy has something similar, is what they call the DOCG. It means the denomination and origin are controlled and guaranteed by the Italian government. And so
DOC, I thought he was a rapper.
they have a DOC too. But you love messing with me, dude. You're throwing me off. So
I freaking love you, Kevin.
Yeah, that's
it's
all
a
right.
beautiful day out.
It
baby.
is. It's gorgeous. I can't wait to get outside.
Yeah,
so.
and they're ready for the patio pounder.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you want to move on to the next one?
Let's do it.
All right. Keeping the summertime theme alive, we are drinking Glacial Till's Harvest Peach Cider. And Glacial Till is located east of Lincoln, Bennett, Palmyra area. And so this is their base cider with that's made from apples, and then they have a little harvest peach in there. And I've had this before, and to me the peach is subtle. It's not super peachy. But it has that nice little sweetness element to it, and it almost kind of drinks very similar to the wine we just had, only it's made of apples instead of grapes.
And it doesn't. What's the potency?
The potency, the ABV on this bad boy.
Because before I patio pound it, I need to know the potency.
We're coming in at an even 5.5.
Oh Lord! For a cider?
For a cider, yeah.
You can't patio pound this. Be careful, because it tastes like you can.
Yeah,
but all of a sudden it'll sneak up on you and hit you with a Mike Tyson uppercut.
That's right. It'll sneak up on you quick. And while we're at it, I'm gonna venture to say, the Spätlese, the German Riesling Spätlese that we're having, comes in at 7.5.
Oh my goodness! It don't taste like it.
No, it doesn't at all. I think it lends itself to the sweetness that you're talking about. It masks a lot of that.
Yeah.
Well, and just an old tip from your old Uncle Kevin: if you're unsure about a wine's level of sweetness and or dryness, look at the alcohol content. So if you're up 13, 14, 15%, that's going to be a dry wine. If you're down 7, 8, 9%, you know it's going to have some sweetness to
That's
it.
why Streaky likes that. Red.
Back on the.
I'm not passing next time.
Okay, well, I'll make sure you're on the board next time.
Shoot.
Am I wrong for saying I get more of the peach from the smell than the taste?
I think that's fair. Yeah, get a little bit more on the nose than actually on the palate.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that it's kind of sweet, but not cloyingly sweet. But
it's just a hint.
This is a good hot weather, like
Mm-hmm.
It's
summertime. Yeah.
And it's
well,
not,
there's a baseball game going on.
Huskers at Michigan State, and then Salt Dogs home opener tonight.
This is the kind where you take to that.
This would
type
be a
of
good
game.
ballpark. Yeah.
Ballpark with a nice little doggy.
Yeah.
Rat.
You're right. These are very similar. I will say the wine was more fruit forward. Like the peach, you're right, kind of fades to the background a little bit. It's there. So the natural sweetness of the wine still stands out to me. Like they're incredibly similar, like you were saying, but I love the natural sweetness of that wine.
I like the fact that it still tastes very clean. It's very pure.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of manipulation there. So this doesn't see any time in oak barrels. It's generally done in glass tanks or stainless steel, so it's very crisp, very clean. You can taste no maceration. That's right. And so it's a really true transformation of the flavor of the grape into the wine, and that's kind of why I like it.
That's awesome. Hey, we are about 10, 11 days from Memorial Day. We want to get people out to Myers Cork and Bottle, right? If you're going out to the lake, need something to patio pound or yacht pound, I don't know, kayak pound,
boat chug.
Boat chug.
What do they call it? Pontoon.
Pontoon
pounder.
Pontoon pounder.
Pontoon pounder.
Paddle boat pounder.
There you go.
Paddle boat pounder.
There we go.
Yeah,
Get your paddle boat
let's
pounder,
go.
your pontoon pounders out at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South. Kevin, 2 for 2 again today. Well done.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it.
We'll throw it to break. Jay Foreman comes in for Old School on the other side.
Boo.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through May 21st is the revealing of the Mystery Box promotion, a $225 value for only $99. That includes 3 8-ounce fillets, 2 4-ounce fillets, 4 New York strips, and 4 8-ounce sirloins. Also, 15% off all spices. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
I'm Ryan Osted. Golf is great because it can be whatever you want it to be. If you want to go out and have a competitive 18 holes, you can make it that. If you want to go out and have a scramble and just have the time of your life, if you want to have a charity golf tournament to raise money for some great cause, you can make it that. It is flexible to be whatever you need it to be at that particular moment in your life. And I've needed golf to be different things at different points in my life. And I'm certainly thankful that I was able to learn the game as a kid and continue to play it now as an adult.
Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. We try to maximize things that are important to them.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
So we really try to maximize the size because 5 years from now, you can't just make your house bigger. The one thing I can tell you is that most builders in Lincoln, we all are about the same price. The difference comes in the products that we put in and the way we put in those products.
The old saying, you get what you pay for, is pretty accurate when you're building a home. If you put nicer windows in and you put nicer cabinets, it's going to cost a little bit more. You know, if those things are important to you, then you want to do it. We can try to incorporate in your floor plan and get a house that you're going to be happy with.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice-integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line, here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you ready to take your seeding season to the next level? Now's your chance with Landmark Implement's early order program. Don't miss out on the best deals of the season on new John Deere air seeders and drills, including the N500C Central Commodity System. Experience the ease of operation with the new N500C's intuitive design, simplifying your seeding process and saving you valuable time in the field. Lock in the largest cash discount, snag the best financing rate, and ensure availability on a new drill. Contact your local Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's truck month at Koppel, and we want to sell them all. Choose between 0.9% APR or as much as $8,000 off list price. Yes, you heard right. That's 0.9% APR or as much as $8,000 off list on select new GMC and Chevrolet inventory. So please make that money-saving drive to Koppel in Louisville or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
The first ever Pro Volleyball Federation Championship is set. The Omaha Supernovas will face the Grand Rapids Rise this Saturday at the CHI Health Center in Omaha in the match for $1 million for the right to claim the title in the inaugural season of the Pro Volleyball Federation. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 2:30 p.m. with first serve at 3:30. Make sure to tune in for the next Ag Appraisal Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Pro Volleyball Federation Radio Network.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We are back. Finally this week, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. DP is resting in recovery. He's got another big call come Saturday for the Supernovas. If you don't know, Supernovas pulled through 5 sets to get to the championship last night. Late night for my man DP, Coach Renee Saunders, and Radio Rico. But nevertheless, we are Old School, brought to you by the Mercado. Certified Piedmontese, special ingredients, a butcher shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 168th and Maple up there in the O, or what they like to call the Metro. Big shout out to Kevin Meyer Cork and Bottle for Thirsty Thursday, the I guess extended crossover or Eric Strickland holiday. But with that being said, it is Thursday. It's beautiful outside. You got people out and about. school's almost over for colleges and high schools here in Lincoln. So you're going to see a lot more activity. Got graduation, I think, coming up next week. But nevertheless, hold on. Dang. Allergies are trying to get me, man.
If it's not one thing, it's another coming for you, Jay.
That's what I'm saying, man. I don't know what it is, but anyways.
I can't catch a break.
That's all right, though. I battled through a tornado, so I can handle anything for anything. The tornado came with me to Charlotte. But anyway, a lot of sports going on. Obviously, NBA playoffs is big. A little bit of Husker recruiting. Had a big recruit in, I think, maybe last weekend. Got some other recruits in, so we can dive in that a little bit and what the offseason will look like. I'm assuming as soon as, finals are over. But more importantly, one thing I texted Austin about was the debut of Caitlin Clark. And I think the WNBA obviously partnering with the NBA partnered with the WNBA, or however you want to, say it. The whole thing of the charters and all that stuff, that was a big step forward for the NBA and their, I guess, financial support and some, quality. And it's just you'll get a better product. Players will be more rested, so forth and so on. But obviously with Caitlin Clark and her debut leading up to it, it is probably the biggest debut. Now, I wouldn't say ever because of Lisa Leslie and Cheryl Swoops and all them. I don't ever want to disrespect them. It's huge because of the media attention, her play in college, so forth and so on. And you got some veterans waiting on you.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my statement on if I was Adam Silver and the WNBA commissioner, and I don't know who that is. I should know that. But here's what I would do. I would take, and I'm sad DP's not here because he loves wrestling. He loves WWF. I love wrestling. Probably not to the extent at my age now that I did when I was younger, but to be honest with you, Austin, it's funny. Your name is Austin. I wore an Austin 316 shirt underneath my pads.
Let's go.
Yeah, I did. And you want to hear another funny story?
Need to.
Before we get into Caitlin Clark, I was walking. Oddly enough, I was catching a connecting flight to go on I think back to Buffalo or maybe a pre-draft visit or something. I was something football related. And I had an Austin 316 shirt on. Hulk Hogan comes around it's the E or D and E terminal in Minneapolis. And he walks past me and I have it there and I have my headphones on and all this other stuff. And I had him up or whatever. And he looks at me. He's like, Austin's a chump and keeps it moving. It's funny.
Just that casual?
Just that casual.
Dang.
Just that casual. And the funny thing about it, me and Sheldon Jackson and a couple other players were coming back, or no, we were on the way to the combine or maybe to Buffalo. I met Steve Austin, right? And he was actually pretty cool. And Nelson Barnes, who was the defensive ends coach here at one point in time, coached Steve Austin, I think at North Texas. So to break the ice, I talked to him. I told him I wore his shirt, and he was very cordial. Obviously once we started talking football and kind of knew, and he wished me luck and all that. It was him, Big Show, a couple other guys, but I just hung out and talked to him for a while. Then he probably was like, it kind of got the feeling like, all right, that's enough. Then I just let him go do his thing. We're all on the same flight. I think we exceeded the weight limit, but we're going to say it's just crazy what a small world it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And he's not that he was yoked up, Oh, and Triple H was there. He's tiny.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Which you don't expect from Triple H.
He's big, but on TV they look a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Now Big Show is for real big.
Big
Show. Yeah, he's Big Show. But yeah, I got to meet him. He was pretty cool. The rest they all travel together and they all probably wrestle each other or whatever, fight each other. So with that being said, if I was Commissioner Jay Foreman of the WNBA, so with Caitlin Clark coming in, it's the same fanfare as when LeBron came into the league. And obviously the NBA was going to be sustainable anyway because Kobe was still playing and everything like that. You still had Dwight Howard, who was potentially Superman then.
Mm-hmm.
Got some kryptonite and ended up being the second coming of a Superman when he was with LA, a totally different player. So the NBA was more sustainable. But for the WNBA to make the most out of this opportunity with Caitlin Clark and some of the other players in the draft class, and even the one prior, and then maybe the one in the future, is I would take a WWF approach. Everybody says it's scripted. I would try to work at that as scripted. You want and need Caitlin Clark to be successful. You want opponents, aka heels, but at the end of the day, you need and you want, and she has to perform well, because yes, there's always gonna be a learning curve, right? But if you can, it's kind of like Wemby and like David Robinson and Tim Duncan. You want to accelerate the process for the betterment of the league long term. And this is where the NBA is different. The NBA has whether Tim Duncan played well or not, there was KG. It was sustainable. With Caitlin Clark, you can take this to another level. You can leapfrog or piggyback off of what happened in college at Iowa. You saw the TV ratings for the Final Fours, and every game that she played, she was selling out places and all that, so forth and so on. She's been more marketable and use it as an asset the whole time. Not bow down to her, but then also make sure it's a great situation to be successful for the betterment of the league. Now, this is twofold, and this is where Axel Foley, I got you here. He says she's already plays the whiny villain pretty good. That's where she has to change, and you have to dial it back and turn it up as you need be. This isn't college anymore. This is the transition from going from high school to college to the pros. We got to be adults, right? You're not going to get every call. You can't argue every call. You can, when you foul somebody hard, you can't be like, well, I didn't touch it. Well, they're pretty much bleed. Yes, Axel Foley is right. But I'm talking about the whole picture here. And I don't know whether you call it macro, micro. I don't know. I should know it. I was a business major, right? Thank you, everybody. Let me look over the shoulder. But that's what the approach I would take, because that's better. It's better for everybody. It's better for the old guard, right? Taurasi and all them. I know Sue Bird was at the first game. I wish she would have kept playing, because I think she would have been a great mentor, advocate for her, to show her how to transition into brand business. You get what I'm saying? Because you got that when Sue Bird came out, that's kind of along the lines of Caitlin Clark. You know, I mean, Sue Bird was that her. Right? Was it? Her. Now I know they had Lauren Jackson up there with the Seattle, but Lauren Jackson was Australian, and if people don't know, so I used to follow it. WNBA based on Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. So you could take care of the old guard, but you want to make sure that you have a plan for the golden child and ticket. Also, she has to earn it, not bow down and pave the way, but make sure everybody sees the bigger picture. The better battles, the better, I guess I'll call it scripted controversy, villain, hero, vice versa, is betterment for the league. Then it'll grow the NBA brand and the women's basketball brand, I think, at a faster rate. Then let's show this young lady that she's not ready yet, which you should know because you're a professional and she's a college player. And then you're like, okay, well, she was only good in college. I'm not going to watch anymore.
The LeBron comparison makes a lot of sense to me, but I'm trying to find another one too, because I think she might play a little more like Luka, especially with the attitude.
Yeah,
and personality.
That's exactly how she plays. But Luka's not American though.
That's where I'm going with, because Caitlin Clark is in the unique position of having played 4 years in college. I mean, she didn't get the national championship.
Right.
She's not Leitner, because Leitner was a guard, or wasn't a guard. Caitlin Clark was a guard.
And there's not a lot of.
Is she? I mean, Magic won a title at Michigan State, but
she might be. You know what? It might be a more pumped up version.
Is she Jay Williams?
She's probably Steph Curry. But Steph came from Davidson.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Steph didn't have the whiny stuff going on.
Right.
But Steph took
new heights.
It took the whole NCAA tournament, that run, by storm. You know, he had the father son and being overlooked. Could have went to he possibly could have went to Duke after that first one, right?
Yeah.
Then his brother ended up. So that's probably it. But the media attention now is so much more magnified. That's why it's like LeBron.
Yes.
Because LeBron was at this level at 18 years old. But LeBron was a grown man at 6'8" and 250 pounds.
At 16, let alone 18.
Exactly.
And
But Kate, I don't mean to cut you off with Caitlin Clark. I feel like if you can usher, not leapfrog, usher, cultivate, grow, challenge, hold accountable, all that stuff, I think 3 or 4 years from now, you'll be like, yes, it was a monumental moment for the WNBA and the women's basketball game that could leapfrog the things in the future.
The WNBA has tried to market some other stars already, like Asia Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu up there in New York.
And she's great.
She is.
Right? And she's in a great market, too.
Very much so. The WNBA can also learn from the NBA, right? What don't people like about the NBA? Oh, it's so individual.
Yeah.
It's the players that have all the power. Where are the rivalries? What happened to the teams? The WNBA has to find a way to balance that Indiana versus New York rivalry with Sabrina versus Caitlin.
Yes.
To some degree. Because Caitlin Clark can be the most marketable star in the face of the league. But to your point, she can't take over from day one because Asia Wilson is on another level right now. Sabrina's really good. Tarazi's still around. Brianna Stewart is still around. There's a lot of really good players and a lot of really good teams.
Yeah,
in
Hall
league.
of Fame players.
Hall of Fame, like
playing.
all-time, like Mount Rushmore caliber players by the end of their careers. You can't put Caitlin Clark on there prematurely.
No.
You have to hype her up relative to the level that she's at. Be excited about her and pump her up. But what you can't do is take away attention from the other stars. You have to pump them up even more since they're better than her right now.
Oh, they're 2 times better than her. They're more experienced. They're stronger. They're bigger. All that stuff. And I think that they need to when Caitlin Clark has a moment, right? Whether it's her first dominant game or game-winning shot or something, they need to magnify that. Now, what they can do is not. I know that they just agreed to have a team up in Toronto, right? Don't expand the WNBA too fast.
They already have the Golden State team and the Toronto team
right. So
on
there's
tap.
2 more. Let's keep it at that. Why do I say that? Is because then you can make it more of an incentive for players to go and play in Indiana with Caitlin Clark to create, I would say, super teams, but more competitive teams with New York and Seattle and Las Vegas and all that.
Consolidate the talent.
Right. Exactly. So then you'll get the rivalries just by having a bigger pool with lesser options of talent. Then you'll get it along with Caitlin Clark and her fanfare. And you can really grow the game. You can do the whole thing from, remember back when they had the Indiana Pacers against the Knicks and all that. You can pit the parts of the country or cities against each other as long as you don't over expand the league too fast. And I look at it with Caitlin Clark, whether it's a comparison to LeBron or comparing against the present day stars in the league, not on the same level, but make sure that you do it the right way and learn, like you said, learn from the NBA. Because even when LeBron came in the league, LeBron was on SportsCenter almost every night. Kobe Bryant, when he started going, probably the same. But everybody knew who the bell guys was. Shaq was dominant. Kobe was dominant when LeBron was there. And so I think you can continue to do both, but I think you also have to make sure that everybody's under the knowledge of the better Caitlin Clark does, the better that she is I guess perceived, not coddled. It's the betterment for us in the league. You want more, I guess, things that the NBA has. She will bring you to that mark a lot faster than everybody. And this is not taking anything away from anybody else, from Asia Wilson, anybody like that. And they are marketable. But also, let's just be honest here. There's more females walking around. I've said this about Steph Curry versus LeBron. There's more females her size that can do what she can do, potentially.
At least more likely to be able to do it.
Right? You can go to the gym and find, smaller guards that can shoot. That's why she's more remarkable, because it's more common. Don't run from it. Embrace it. And then also everybody benefit off of it.
I almost wonder if another comparison for how Caitlin Clark could be handled is Anthony Edwards, who was number 1 pick.
Yeah.
He wasn't as hyped as Caitlin Clark. Obviously, there's a lot of discussion at the top of that draft for who should go number 1. but that's the number one pick that didn't win Rookie of the Year. If Caitlin Clark's not the best rookie, don't give a Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
It's one thing when it's Wemby.
Yeah.
And it's that clear and obvious.
Yeah.
But if Cameron Brink is really good, or there's another rookie that's really good, just give
Have-
someone else the Rookie of the Year.
Create it
And-
like Wemby and Chet.
Right.
Yeah.
Go back and forth. Make her learn where you can say, oh, this is someone that could be the face of the league. But Anthony Edwards earned his way into that
and
conversation.
continues to do
Continues to do it. Has some road to hoe
Yeah.
ahead of him, down 3-2 right now. But that's another number one pick that got off to a rocky start.
Yeah.
His numbers weren't the best. He was on a bad Timberwolves team.
Right. In a relatively small market compared to the rest of the NBA. When you think of the market, I would even argue that the Minnesota market is way smaller than the Atlanta market.
Way.
You know, think about when Trae Young came in and you had Ice Trae and all the other stuff. So, I think, I just was thinking about this, for the last couple of days is how you could do it. Now, granted, I think you got to play hard against her and you got to, try to beat her. But then also what her responsibility should and could be is to make sure that every time that you're, getting talked about or interviewed, that you are championing for the Hall of Fame players, the Breonna Stewarts and all them, and while you're giving them the credit to help you that have helped pave the way for you. Now, what that'll do is that'll create a bond, from afar that you're showing respect. And then that way you can kind of all build this together, because ultimately the WNBA, everybody wants to make sure that the talent stays here, doesn't have to go play overseas. We've seen obviously with Brittany Griner and all that. So, I don't know if you ever heard her quote was, you can go over there, play for 4 months in Russia, make $1 million. So you want to make sure it's worth staying here. How do you do that? Create more marketing opportunities. How does that happen? Generally piggybacking or partnering with a present day superstar coming from college like Caitlin Clark. And there will be another one, but you want to make sure you handle this one right at this time with the support of the NBA for the WNBA and the excitement around the women's professional game. Whether, I know that Kelsey Plum had her, personal stuff out there or whatever, and she chose to put it out there, but she's marketable. I saw something where she has her own cigar brand coming out. There's opportunities there, and you could work with Caitlin Clark to do it, and also the NBA and WNBA got to do it as well. So that's my WWF take for the WNBA. But we're going to take a quick break, come back, and we'll give a PGA Championship update. A little TW today. Xander Schauffele went deep. Rory's, hey man,
he's back.
Rory, he's had a week. He's had a couple weeks. I mean, I used to think he was mentally weak, but he's showing some cojones right now. So we'll give an update, and then we'll get it to 5 o'clock hour. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I'm Dave Osted.
And I'm Ryan Osted.
I think my first memory of golf is playing with my dad at a par 3 course. It was an absolute blast, and he always would have an ice cream hole. So if I got an 8 or less, we'd be going for ice cream.
My first memory of golf really focused on driving the golf cart, being able to drive that cart.
You were a crazy driver.
I was a crazy driver, but it was what I look forward to. And what's really funny now, when I take my kids out play golf, that is the one thing, along with the snack bar, that they are most excited about.
Focus on the good stuff. Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
The first ever Pro Volleyball Federation Championship is set. The Omaha Supernovas will face the Grand Rapids Rise this Saturday at the CHI Health Center in Omaha in the match for $1 million for the right to claim the title in the inaugural season of the Pro Volleyball Federation. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 2:30 p.m. with first serve at 3:30. Make sure to tune in for the next Ag Appraisal Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Pro Volleyball Federation Radio Network.
When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. We try to maximize things that are important to them.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
So we really try to maximize the size, because 5 years from now, you can't just make your house bigger. The one thing I can tell you is that most builders in Lincoln, we all are about the same price. The difference comes in the products that we put in and the way we put in those products.
The old saying, you get what you pay for, is pretty accurate when you're building a home. If you put nicer windows in and you put nicer cabinets, it's going to cost a little bit more. If those things are important to you, then you want to do it. We can try to incorporate in your floor plan and get a house that you're going to be happy with.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through May 19th, enjoy fresh chicken hindquarters for 69 cents per pound and fresh Duroc pork shoulder for $2.49 per pound. Plus, for Friday and Saturday only, USDA Choice Whole Boneless Ribeye Loin for just $10.99 per pound for the 2-day sale. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Ironhide Construction is a Nebraska-based general contracting and steel construction firm. Their expert team is experienced in building innovative construction solutions across several industries. While they were previously known for their extensive experience in steel erection and metal buildings, they've continued to evolve over the last several years into a full-service general contracting firm. They take pride in their commitment to quality, cutting-edge technology, and having a passion for what they do. For more information about their services or to discuss an upcoming project, visit www.ironhideconstruction.com or call 402-420-4961.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through May 21st is the revealing of the Mystery Box promotion, a $225 value for only $99. That includes 3 8-ounce fillets, 2 4-ounce fillets, 4 New York strips, and 4 8-ounce sirloins. Also 15% off all spices. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, PGA Championship 2024 in Valhalla, Louisville, Kentucky. Scoring update. It's only 60 degrees there, Austin. Says right
That's
here.
it?
I think. Or maybe that's ours. No, it's 60 degrees, according to AccuWeather.
We're 77.
Yeah. Should have it here. I don't know where they have it, but Xander,
Highlands.
Yeah, right. It'd be windy out there.
Big Highlands guy.
You got to play with the jet fuel.
Right.
Xander Schauffele came out, shot a 62, 9 under. Tony Finau is 6 under. Rory is 5 under. He's had a pretty interesting last few weeks. Brooks Koepka, who is always a favorite in the majors, especially the PGA, is 4 under, lurking. You got Martin Keimer, old school guy that won. He's 3 under. Cameron Smith who was on the way to stardom, and then he joined Liv. He's 3 under. Victor Hovland, who's supposed to be on his way, he's 3 under. TW Tiger Woods is +1. Jordan Spieth is 2 under. Justin Thomas is 2 under. Let's see who else.
Scotty's 3 under through 11.
Yeah.
Morikawa, same.
And my man Brendan Todd used to be my neighbor in Charlotte.
No way.
Yeah. Maybe when he graduated from the University of Georgia. Cool dude. Man, he's about 6'3", about 6'2", 6'3", might be 180. I doubt for 180.
So you can fit 2 of him behind one of you.
Easily. Country dude, can hit it. It's good to see him doing well, though, because he had to fight to get his card. Luke Donald, 1 under. Let's see who else. Justin Rose, 1 under. Hideki Matsuyama, 1 under. Let's see who else is in there.
Lowry, Zalatoris.
Will Zalatoris is 1 under. Will Zalatoris might be 125 pounds.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like his golf bag, his bag of clubs probably weighs as much as him.
Yeah, he definitely is not on the weight limit when it goes to when you go to was it Worlds of Fun or something?
Right.
Yeah, he might
He's
get
tall
that.
enough to ride.
Yeah, tall enough, but your weight isn't there, buddy. Get your weight up. Tommy Fleetwood is +1.
Missed opportunity for his parents not to have named him Mac.
Yeah. There's an interesting story. Eric Van Ruin, he went to the University of Minnesota from South Africa. Had an interesting story that put life in perspective, obviously, with, passing of a local friend of everybody here in Lincoln and Torrance. Obviously, he was really close with AD and those guys. I knew him through AD in college, and, just in passing, but I used to see him, and, it's always a breath of fresh air. But it brings things in perspective. Eric Van Ruin was talking about how he used to be upset about golf, and he has, just had a baby and stuff. And then I think he said he was on like the 10th tee and got the text from one of his best friends. His friends had cancer, and it was like terminal, and he was gone in like 2 weeks. Story was on today. Is pretty cool. So, or not pretty cool, but pretty life-changing that things can turn out you pretty fast. Ricky Fowler +1. He needs to get it going. Jason Day +1. Jason Day has old man clothes. He got a new sponsor. My Malbin. Yeah, they need to taper those bad boys. He got parachute pants, oversized. He's just got the old man stuff.
Is that on him or his agent?
His agent just makes sure he got paid.
So it's on him.
Jason Day looked in the mirror before he comes out. He looked like he's getting dressed with the lights off. So Dustin Johnson, who hasn't been able to get it back right, got a ton of money. He's +2. He's probably done here. Dustin Johnson used to be like the fitness dude, 6'4" and in shape.
Number 1 for a while.
My man has been drinking some beers. And some steaks and some late nights. Anyways, that's your PGA Tour, PGA Championship on the PGA Tour update. We're going to take a quick break, come back at the top of the 5 o'clock hour, talk a little NBA, talk a little Husker recruiting, talk about a little bit of expectations. I really want to talk about Nebraska. I never really got to talk about Camardi McLean in Colorado. Obviously, that's always going to be on the forefront. I think the look at Colorado and what they're doing might be how some colleges that are in Colorado's position will have to operate in the future to try to get some fanfare, especially if they go into super leagues. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. Quick break. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
Pro Volleyball Federation Championship is set. The Omaha Supernovas will face the Grand Rapids Rise this Saturday at the CHI Health Center in Omaha in the match for $1 million for the right to claim the title in the inaugural season of the Pro Volleyball Federation. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 2:30 p.m. with first serve at 3:30. Make sure to tune in for the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Pro Volleyball Federation Radio Network.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies and some light winds with an afternoon high around 78. Tonight, expecting mainly clear skies with an overnight low around 54. And tomorrow, mainly sunny skies return, a little warmer with a high around 84. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. We try to maximize things that are important to them.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
So we really try to maximize the size because 5 years from now, you can't just make your house bigger. The one thing I can tell you is that most builders in Lincoln, we all are about the same price. The difference comes in the products that we put in and the way we put in those products.
The old saying, you get what you pay for, is pretty accurate when you're building a home. If you put nicer windows in and you put nicer cabinets, it's going to cost a little bit more. You know, if those things are important to you, then you want to do it. We can try to incorporate in your floor plan and get a house that you're going to be happy with.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through May 21st is the revealing of the Mystery Box promotion, a $225 value for only $99. That includes 3 8-ounce fillets, 2 4-ounce fillets, 4 New York strips, and 4 8-ounce sirloins. Also 15% off all spices. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Old School, 1040 O Street, live in effect from The Ticket, formerly known as the LES building, but we are bringing electricity down here in the great city of Lincoln, Nebraska, the mecca of sports radio. We are Old School, brought to you by the Mercado, certified Piedmontese, special ingredients, a butcher shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, in Lancaster County. Every type of meat and every type of cut. We're going to jump into in this first longer segment the NFL schedule release. I know everybody was ran into a couple of friends. They were saying, "Hey, did you see? They do the kind of skits, and they did the one. Did you see the one with the Chargers and the Raiders?
It's how the Chargers did the Sims video.
Yeah, the Sims video, and then they had the QR code on top of the Raiders fan, and when you scanned it, it went to like a clown show.
Oh my god!
So essentially, they called the Raiders fans a bunch of clowns. It was pretty.
Awesome.
Some of them were pretty well thought of, pretty cool, pretty funny. I saw the one with what was it? The Cleveland Browns, and I think the Chiefs. I think was with I think it was Njoku or whatever. Their tight end was pretty thought out. Listen, I think the parity is in effect now, and I think the Chiefs were probably always going to be the odds-on favorite. But I think with the Rasheen Rice situation, it brings them, even with Kelsey and Mahomes, it still brings everybody back closer, or brings them closer back to the field.
Well, and here's this: when you talk about the schedule release, one of the big headlines was Kansas City goes 50 days between home games.
Yeah,
they'll play New Orleans on a Monday night, and then have 4 road games and a bye week before they get another home game.
Congratulations, Super Bowl champs. You don't get your home field advantage for 50 days. You lost her then. Who did that? Somebody has to get fired.
Right. But on the flip side of that, they probably have a bunch of home games clustered other places. So they get long stretches at home and a really long stretch on the road.
If they can hold their head above water, and the league better hope they don't end up going, I think it's 5 games, right? Or 4 games.
4 and a bye.
4. If you better hope they don't go 4-0. I'm just
right.
Because those games, it's like they're like division games.
I think they've got San Francisco, Las Vegas, the Chargers, and the Falcons. In that stretch.
And I'm just talking about just going 4-0. It's like you actually won 6 games because it's hard to go 4-0 in the league. It's hard to go 4-0 on the road. You knocked out 4 games, essentially half your road games with W's. Now you're coming to probably the best home field advantage, and you're the defending Super Bowl champion, and you essentially have a game and a half, 2 games on the field, as far as all 4 road games, and a bye. You might as well just say, you know what, this is where the AFC Championship is going to be. We got to play out of our whats to beat them, and hope that they have some injury troubles coming down the stretch, because that's where it's going to be if I'm the other teams in the AFC.
Interesting.
That's it, and that's if they go 4-0,
right,
or 3-1. If they go 2-2, that's actually better for the league.
It's a normal year, though.
Yeah, that's you could convince yourself there's some chinks in the armor. We've seen some weaknesses. Maybe they lost their all that stuff. They're not so far ahead, then it's a foregone conclusion. We gotta hope for a miracle or something like that. So that was huge for me. And then obviously Austin, the first game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know who's coming too.
You know where you're going to, right?
We're going to Naptown. If you guys don't know, my Houston Texans are going to take that trip. It's about 2 hours and 45 minutes from H-Town to Indianapolis. We're going to get some shrimp cocktail. Not going to upset our stomachs. And the slew-footed, slanging C.J. Stroud.
He's going to find his butt on the turf for 60 minutes.
We're going to
Latu coming for it. A.D. Mitchell is the new T.Y. Hilton. Houston doesn't know what's coming.
We are going to light you up like a Christmas tree.
Doubtful.
I mean,
Zaire Franklin's going to live in that backfield.
Oh my gosh. That's
Joe Mixon. Who? Nah.
The thing is, Austin, playing on the road is hard. And I will say this from my NFL experience. You're going to get the best. Let's just say and I think both Houston and Indianapolis, they're closer than what people think in the offseason because it came down to that game, right? And it was competitive. And look, you got your quarterback now and the whole full offseason. People don't realize this, especially when they're two teams that are comparable. The first game, you're going to get the best version of the Colts. If I'm coming from Houston's perspective, people ask why, because you got 17. No. They have schemed. They have coached. They have had meetings. They've watched watched film as a staff. They've kept up with the Colts in this case, where I'm talking about from Houston's perspective, and vice versa for Indianapolis. They kept up on injuries, kept up on play concepts. They probably had people at open practices or inter squad or inter team practice week practices going into preseason games. So you should have more intel, and the game plan should be more airtight that game. So you should see not as many blowouts. Now, where you could see the big jump in my experience is week 2 and 3, because all that time that you put into that game, you're not able to do it to the next week. So if you're like, I guess I could just give it to you like this. So the very first game in Houston Texans history, we played Dallas. Dallas was a better team than us. We were a really good defense, historically horrible offense. Dallas they just were a better overall team, but we were able to play them in the preseason. It was just we were just all going through the motions, but we also were able to study them more than the next opponent. So beating them wasn't that hard. The next year, I think it was the first time an expansion team ever won the first 2 games, to start the season. Go down on the road to Miami. As hot as all get out. We end up beating them pretty easily, pretty handily. Why? We were able to, all preseason, all through training camp, we had Miami Dolphins section in practice. Sometimes we practice against the Dolphins or practice for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So that's what's usually going to happen. Obviously, the schedule coming out. The one thing also, Austin, I wanted to ask you about is the 49ers and the unique position that they're in, right? You had the offseason where Brock Purdy he's got his contract adjusted, but not a new contract. You heard rumblings that Deebo Samuel is on the trading block, right? Brandon Ayuk is potentially going to be holding out or missed a significant part about training camp. Not talking about a rookie coming in and playing as good as a veteran. But you fired your defensive coordinator. You shown chinks in the armor. Seemed like last year was the year. Do you have a Super Bowl hangover? The Rams look like they're poised to not only challenge you, but maybe take over. Seattle's on the uptick. And the Cardinals are still the Cardinals, but you have 2 known challengers that challenged you along with their schedule. When you looked at the 49ers schedule, what was your thought about their schedule moving forward, considering where they're at as a franchise and how close, but yet so far they were from winning the Super Bowl last year?
Playing a first place schedule is never easy, right?
Yeah.
Winning a division and getting that, quote unquote reward. That's why the NFL has the most parity of any league, right? Because on their schedule,
yeah, just look at it right off the rip.
Yeah, you start off with
Aaron.
Then you have the Chiefs and the Cowboys in back-to-back weeks.
Yep.
Both those are at home, but still, those are 2 pretty tough tests. Go to the Buccaneers, go to the Packers, go to the Bills.
Yeah, and that's just and they're a better team than Buffalo. That's a long trip. That's
Right.
a long trip out there.
And this season, to me, Jay, will tell me if San Francisco is more Buffalo or more Kansas City. With all the drama, with all the potential moving parts and distractions there, we've seen it knock Buffalo off course, so they haven't been able to get over the hump.
Yeah.
Now, the difference is there's no Patrick Mahomes in the NFC.
Yeah.
Not anything close to him there. So I think San Francisco, would be a safer bet to have a better season in not just the NFC West, but in the NFC. But to me, the question is, has Detroit taken that step up? Has Philly
Are they
reloaded?
for real?
Yeah.
Or is Detroit for real? Is Philly?
Is there more in love?
Yeah. Is the second half of the season of Green Bay and Jordan Love, is that who you are going to be moving forward? Or was it a snapshot on what you could be? And now we have more intel on you Now you're going to have the quote unquote sophomore slump. That's going to be huge. I think Green Bay holds the keys to the NFC. Right? You got rid of your defensive coordinator. We got a ton of talent. You drafted well, kind of developed well. Your quarterback looked like, because you got to think at the beginning of the season, they were like, we got to get this dude out of here. Now all of a sudden we love you. So which one is it? Or are you somewhere in between? Now, and then you lost Jones to your rival, the Vikings. You feel comfortable with Jacobs, the younger version. I think they have the keys to the NFC because are they significantly better than the Vikings? And let's just assume they're better than a rookie quarterback-led Bears. And are they as good as Detroit because they battled last year? And then if they aren't, can they go another way around, which most likely would be at Dallas or at San Francisco or at Philly if Detroit holds serve at who they are? Now, if you flip it, now can a second-year starting quarterback in Jordan Love handle having a home field advantage? And we've seen Aaron Rodgers when they were 15-1 or whatever, dookie down their legs. But when they were the number 6 seed and you're in rhythm, you go right to the Super Bowl. I think Green Bay holds the keys to the NFC because I think they're probably the most complete team if Love is everybody that they love in Green Bay.
I think that's fair. The Rams also intrigue me just because how do they respond to Aaron Donald being gone?
Yeah.
Not just the player he is on the field, but off the field as well.
Game plan.
That's a massive change in how opponents attack them and how they attack opponents. So I think the Rams have enough talent, especially on offense. That defense, if it's not better by late December into early January, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
That'll be enough time to see if they can adjust to that loss.
Yeah, I mean, I think losing Aaron Donald, everybody's like, okay, first of all, if I was this buddy, it's like, look, man, what are you doing? What do you like? Do you not want to go to train? What is it? Just take the first 10 weeks off and then come back.
Right.
Don't retire. He's still in his prime.
Yeah.
Like, what else do you want to do?
What else do you have to do?
Right. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I get it. He's got a family and all. He's very family oriented. So you got to respect the decision.
Well, and they have a tough first 5 weeks. They go to the Lions, host the Niners,
come back after
host
that.
the Packers.
Yeah, just come back after that. How about that? We'll deal with this mess and then you take the easy way out.
Right.
Seriously,
though.
But I think that what people don't understand when you have a superstar Hall of Fame or first ballot player like Aaron Donald, it's not what he does. Because you know when you pull up to the stadium, you know who he is. You know what's going to happen. He's going to dominate in some form or fashion. It's what it does to the other teams and also the respect that you lose in the offseason as people start to mentally prepare for you when the schedule comes out. You actually gain that. You actually, by him retiring, gives everybody else more confidence to beat you. Everybody starts to hone in on Stafford and the 2 receivers, right? Versus where Aaron Donald single-handedly can win a game defensively. He can wreck your offensive game plan from a run game standpoint. And he not only arrives at the quarterback to sack your quarterback, it's strip, forced fumble, let alone he might hurt your quarterback.
Right.
Well, he's gone. And yes, the Rams have done a really good job of drafting, developing, and also priority free agent guys. But you only can do that so much, and none of them are a Hall of Fame player.
That part.
And even though you got a first and second round pick, from the 2 from Florida State who are eventually going to be good players, they're still not Aaron Donald. So they are, I would normally say the Rams, but the fact that you lost Aaron Donald makes me, wonder a little bit. And then also you wonder how healthy can Matthew Stafford stay? Even though he played phenomenal last year, he got banged up.
Right.
Kept
playing, but you can kind of tell.
Right. He went through that 2-week stretch and then he kind of limped into the bye week and then that helped him. But 36, 37 years old is still 36, 37 years old, especially with the beating that he took at Detroit. So some other games, though, I think also is going to be, obviously starting off, you got the Ravens at the Chiefs.
Oh, boy.
It's great with the Ravens until I see you guys call plays that fit Lamar Jackson when it's crunch time. I still don't believe in you. I could see you going 14-3, 13-4, and have a home game and throw the ball 30 times and be like, man, we have the number 1 defense, but we got lit up. It's kind of like Buffalo,
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You go down to Kansas City and have all these yards. Josh Allen plays out of his mind, and we can't defend Travis Kelce for 13 seconds.
13 seconds.
13 seconds. Or we have Kansas City at home. We beat them earlier, and we can't catch a 62-yard bomb, and we want to be a Hall of Fame receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Until you do it, it's just kind of like, I'll see you do it. That's going to be an interesting game. I'm going to tell you this one. There's two other games. This is from experience, Austin. September 12th, Buffalo at the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins, they're going to be out for revenge. It's always, I remember last year, Josh Allen threw for like 400 yards and they still lost, ran out of gas. Listen, playing down there at that time, normally, it's the hottest game I've ever been in.
Dang. Besides
Arizona State that night. And the reason why it's so hard for Buffalo to play down there at any point in time during the year, because the contrast is so different. It might be 82 degrees in Buffalo. It's going to be hot as all get out, and they always make us wear blue uniforms. And I think the Dolphins are gunning for them. I know they've prepared for it. They feel like you see the chink in the armor. Buffalo lost a lot. That's going to be a huge game. There's another game right here that's going to be interesting. And the only reason I think it's going to be interesting is November 28th, the Chicago Bears at Detroit. I think Detroit is a better team. I think Detroit's going to win. It will tell me a lot more about the Caleb Williams project, or Caleb Williams as a franchise quarterback. Caleb Williams making the decision to draft Caleb Williams even before his senior year in college. Was that the right decision? Or did you let possibly a chance, maybe even down the future, keep Justin Fields for a year and get somebody else that's maybe more capable of doing it? I'll know everything by then, because you're set up way better than Justin Fields ever was.
Right.
Your offensive line is better. You got running game. You got receivers. You got it all. You got a coach coming back. The GM's coming back. Late in the season, we'll see if you're really for real, because people have 6 weeks of tape, more than 6 weeks of tape on you. That means you'll have 2 weeks to kind of recover after you kind of stub your toe, and you should be hitting your stride late in the year. It'll be interesting.
That game stands out to me too, because one of those other schedule quirks is that the Bears don't play a divisional game until week 11. So they're backloaded with NFC North games, because the 2 weeks before that, guess what? Host the Packers, host the Vikings. Now you got to go back on the road.
Yeah.
Your third divisional game.
Let's see what you're made of.
Yeah,
let's see
prove it. Step up.
But also, it's going to be, I think it could work out really good for Caleb Williams, because you're playing teams that aren't familiar with the Chicago Bears early. So it's set up for you possibly to be successful. When I look at Caleb Williams, I think he had 30 touchdowns last year throwing. I'll look at the break. His first, I think 21 came in his first 6 or 7 games, maybe even less than that. That means he threw 9 touchdowns over the last maybe 6 games. So that makes me wonder, are you really a franchise quarterback? Because when they compared you to Daniels and everybody else, Daniels and them were more consistent. You weren't very consistent. Am I right with that?
Let's do the math here. The last 6 weeks of the year, so from Notre Dame on, 1 touchdown to 3 picks, no touchdowns, no picks against Utah, 2 touchdowns against Cal, 3 against Washington, 1 against Oregon, 1 against UCLA.
So it's 8
out of 30.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
In 6 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. So that means, to me, you slowed down, and as you played better opponents, you weren't able to execute, because you can't tell me you didn't have talent, and you can't tell me you didn't have scheme. So where is the common denominator? Now, I do think he will be good. I think it was probably a very premature mistake by Eberflus to name him the starter before he even took part in the rookie minicamp. Everybody in that locker room knows eventually he would start. But you want to let him have a moment to where, you know what, even if he lit it up in practice for 2 days, this is the guy. And also he has some, I wouldn't even say personality issues, but he's going to have a little bit of reality. You're going to be dealing with grown men.
Right.
So flashing your money, you pulling up in a Ferrari, all that's not doing anything in Chicago. So that game sticks out to me, not because of who the Bears are, who they potentially could be, but where he will be at. Because if the Bears somehow get it going in the next 2 or 3 years, the NFL, and in particular the NFC North, is going to be the new NFC East, to where that's where you like, okay, that's the division in the NFC, kind of like bringing back the old guard, because you got to think Detroit's going to be sustainable. With Love is playing, they're going to be sustainable. And let's just think that the Vikings will always be a contender.
You trust Minnesota to rebuild a lot more than you do Chicago.
Right. And if Chicago gets going, now you got 4 teams, and that could trickle down to maybe Dak Prescott and Dallas is blown up. You'd like to see that NFC North, maybe even to compete with the NFC East moving forward. We weren't even able to get into the Philadelphia Eagles and how much pressure is on them. Matter of fact, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to spend the first half of the next segment talking about the Philadelphia Eagles and the Giants, and how much pressure there is on both of those coaches, organizations, and some of the players to perform next year. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. We try to maximize things that are important to them.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
So we really try to maximize the size, because 5 years from now, you can't just make your house bigger. The one thing I can tell you is that most builders in Lincoln, we all are about the same price. The difference comes in the products that we put in and the way we put in those products.
The old saying, you get what you pay for, is pretty accurate when you're building a home. If you put nicer windows in and you put nicer cabinets, it's going to cost a little bit more. You know, if those things are important to you, then you want to do it. We can try to incorporate in your floor plan and get a house that you're going to be happy with.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
Ironhide Construction is a Nebraska-based general contracting and steel construction firm. Their expert team is experienced in building innovative construction solutions across several industries. While they were previously known for their extensive experience in steel erection and metal buildings, they've continued to evolve over the last several years into a full-service general contracting firm. They take pride in their commitment to quality, cutting-edge technology, and having a passion for what they do. For more information about their services or to discuss an upcoming project, visit www.ironhideconstruction.com or call 402-420-4961.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people. and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Second segment, 5 o'clock hour. Philadelphia Eagles. How much pressure is on them to bounce back? You know, it's crazy. At one point in time last year, they were 10-1. Looked like they were just going to be odds-on favorite to easily get to the NFC Championship, but most likely get to the Super Bowl.
See, I'm going to push back on that. They seemed kind of paper tiger to me.
They were, but
won a lot of close games, kind of like the Vikings a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but here's what I will tell you from NFL experience. And I don't even like doing the NFL thing.
You pulled the card on me.
I know. Okay. I didn't want to. Can I get the card back? Okay, but I'm just telling you because I've been on some teams that we ain't win tiddly poo. A win is a win in the league. And generally, when you win those games, it builds confidence that you can win any game. Like the Vikings, like you're completely right. Like when we talked about Green Bay going as the number 6 seed in Pittsburgh when they both won championships, so forth and so on. You get the momentum going because it's so hard to win a game. And they were 10-1 because your take is like every Philly fan. We're getting lucky. The numbers are like smoke screening the reality, you know, because you hit a couple big plays or a bust, like the Buffalo game, drop a touch, all that stuff.
Hurts doesn't seem as good as last year.
Things are falling our way, right? Brandon Graham got a couple big sacks, 4 fumble, game over, right? As teams were driving. You know, that's what the take should be, right? When you really, really look at the tape, right? And don't get fooled by the record. But on the flip side, what they were saying and what Sirianni was telling the team is we're finding ways to win. We'll get it going, right? Well, eventually it'll pop. We'll start to match the, you know, I guess eye test with the reality. Just keep winning. It'll get there. And it went the other way.
Right.
It went the other way. And really it had such a lasting effect that Jason Kelce retired, I think, a year too early. Even though Cam Jurgens is going, I think a year too early. And Fletcher Cox really out of nowhere retired. Because even if you weren't going to go back to Philly, he still had a good enough year. He could go somewhere else on a 1-year deal. Now, Fletcher Cox, I could see coming back after like week 6 or something and doing that. But you had some stalwarts, or especially Jason Kelsey, probably going to be a Hall of Fame player. Fletcher Cox, a well-known and respected player in the city of Philly and in the organization, gone. The fabric of your team is gone. Now you usher in Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. You got to think Brandon Graham isn't projected to start anymore. And now you bring in a new defensive coordinator, a new offensive coordinator. Again, and an offensive coordinator that is primarily going to be calling plays to get a head coaching job. A defensive coordinator in Vic Fangio, that was the offseason get coaching-wise last year for the Dolphins, lasted 1 year. Suspect, average results at best. I played for Vic. I think he's a great coordinator. I think he's a better version even than when, he coached me. Just an experience, and obviously he was really good. And he's trying to get back to the, let's say, the Mount Rushmore of present-day coordinators, right? As an older coordinator now, right? So he's looking for a little bit of get back. I don't think he'll get over his skis and start to I don't think he's shooting for a head coaching job. I think he's been there and done that. He likes where he's at, just from the stuff I know from Vic, and only talking to him once in this offseason. He knows where his lane is. Whereas Kellen Moore, he's trying to be a head coach. You got to think, Jerry Jones shoved him down Mike McCarthy's throat. Mike McCarthy had to get him out of there. He went to San Diego. The coach got fired. They leapfrogged him for khakis. Now he had a landing spot with all the weapons there, right? You got to think DeAndre Swift, gone, right? Barely was used last year. He ain't running the ball.
No.
Right? And so there's a lot of pressure in Philly. And let's not even forget, a coach that when they went to the Super Bowl, everybody liked the brashness, right? Coming up in the sideline, looking in the camera, and, dapping up his security guard and all that. All of a sudden, the security guard gets into the player. He's suspended and all that. He's on the hot seat because, quiet as kept, Bill Belichick was potentially going to be the head coach. Right? At Philly. That was like another kind of a covert, like, okay, he could be gone. And so they had to meet with Sirianni, and he had to make some drastic changes within himself and his staff. You re-up Slim Reaper, Devontae Smith. Bring back A.J. Brown, who I thought was going to be gone because he started, like every receiver, started to complain. And you bring those two guys back. Obviously, you have a great fallback plan in Cam Jurgens, who I think he's going to eventually be a really good center, and probably will be next year. You probably get a healthy, Dallas Goedert, who I think is going to be a factor. But sometimes with too many weapons, you don't have any. There's an old saying: you have too many options. Now you got Saquon Barkley, who's going to be that dude. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do. There's a lot of pressure in Philly, boy. And those fans aren't waiting for you to get it going.
No, not for one season at all. The Sirianni thing is interesting to me because it's one thing for us to perceive what he says, but you mentioned too, like the two different messages. Like from the outside, it's maybe, they're getting lucky. I'll look at the numbers. Sirianni has to tell the guys, we're good. We're finding ways to win. We'll get it together. But does he have to say that to the locker room? Or would it have been better if he was honest with them and saying, hey, we're getting lucky. Like, we have to find ways to pick it up, because the brashness plays one way.
Yeah.
But it plays a different way in the locker room. How do you think that locker room took his approach to last season?
I think they genuinely like him and like playing for him. I think he connects with the players. I think that covered up a lot of his lack of experience. And to be honest with you, I think Philly played way above I wouldn't say their talent. I think they're very, very talented. I like Roseman is a great GM. He's standing on business and he's making moves every single time to win. And I like that. I think that the year that they went to the Super Bowl, I think they played almost perfect and flawless. That doesn't happen every year. They really never had a lull. This year they had a lull. They lost. They themselves found ways to lose. That let me know that Sirianni had a lack of experience of coaching in those games, because you kind of start off so fast and have that winning year, then you kind of have the next one. Then it's like, I don't know what to do. Everything had kind of been peaches and cream. It's going to be interesting to see how that is perceived this year with the pressure. The players know there's pressure. Every single one of those players are not stupid. You could say don't let the outside noise, get to you. Listen, the noise is there. They know it. They're training it. They have to get off to a good start. Because if they don't, he's going to be under immense pressure. The organization is going to be under immense pressure, and the players are as well. And then you will see some chinks in the armor and some cracks in the cement. So, or in the foundation. So they're under a lot of pressure. Dallas is always under pressure. Just every year playing for the Cowboys. That's why they're always talked about every year. This is the year for the Cowboys. So they are kind of rinse and repeat. Another team that has a lot of pressure based on how they drafted, based on what they did last offseason, and also this offseason, which last offseason, not this year, but the one prior, re-upping Daniel Jones to the tune of $45 million, right? When you could have drafted a quarterback, and then not signing Saquon, letting him bounce to Philly, which is almost losing a player and a half, and he's a great player. And then also drafting a receiver, and you really struck out on the offense. Evan Neal struggled, right? Andrew Thomas, I think, is coming into his own. John Michael Smith is the dude. He's a grown man. And then everywhere else, you kind of struggled. And then you got Wando Robinson, Darren Waller, who was underwhelming at best, right? Wandell got hurt, and you got Slayton, along with the quarterback. That's a lame duck quarterback. Daniel Jones is playing for his starting life in the NFL, unless he wants to go start for like the Cardinals or something.
The Giants' saving grace plays in the same stadium. It's the Jets. The fact that Aaron Rodgers is back, the fact that they've got some pretty good offseason hype.
Yeah.
There is pressure for the Giants, deservedly so, right? I mean, they have to prove at some point that playoff run they made wasn't a fluke. Dable's got to step up and prove it wasn't a fluke. I like Brian Dable. I think he's a really good coach. But at some point, you got to show it year after year. Daniel Jones, like you said, yeah, I mean, prove that you're worth. He probably won't be worth 40 to 45 million.
Yeah, we get it for a smooth 20,
right?
He'll get you at a discount, right?
Something like that. But I really think that the Giants have the third most pressure in that division, just because the Jets are taking some off.
Yeah, and the Jets are front loaded with primetime games.
Yeah,
I want to ask you this: who's under more pressure, Sirianni or Brian Dable?
Sirianni.
Ooh.
I think the expectations are higher. I think he's taking him to the mountaintop, and I think it's because he's more out front, right? Dable doesn't say the stuff that Sirianni does. So Sirianni, I think, has put more of a target on his back himself.
Yeah. But I think as the season goes on, I think if somebody gets fired first, I think it'd be Brian Dable. Because that's what he's already been on notice, right? I mean, after they made the playoff run, the owner said, listen, we don't need you to be a one-hit wonder. Well, they looked horrible. On top of it, one of the most respected defensive coordinators, Wink Martindale, left and just pretty much said, I hate this dude so much. I don't even want to coach with you anymore. I'm out of here. Cold turkey, not a place to go. So I think that also sheds light. I think that Sirianni, I think Philly is so talented, and I think the East is so top-secret. You'll always be in it, and Philly feels like they have more championship aspirations than the Giants. So I think they will long game him longer versus say you get to the bye week or say after 10 games and say New York is
4-6,
3-7, he gone.
How bad does it have to be for Sirianni to be gone?
After 10 games?
After 10.
5-5. Maybe an ugly 6-4. You 5-5? But you got to think, though, Austin, that 5-5, you don't just take that 5-5. You take the last 6 games of last year.
Right.
And then that's what if that happened, when he is relieved of his duties, that's what they will focus on. Right? That's what they do. So if they're 5-5, he in trouble. Big Fangio will be interim.
Good for
somebody,
Vic.
or probably Kellen
Moore.
Kellen Moore, because he's younger. See if we the quote unquote. Let's give him a chance. See what he's like, and then that'll be on his resume.
Is Vic the associate head coach in Philly? Is that part of his job title?
Yeah, and it would be great for Sherry to listen to Vic.
Right.
We got a Virginia Pirate here from the text line. He says, I think the Cowboys are a ticking time bomb. My prediction would be they'll fire their head coach and Dak will be looking for a new team next year. That is a great take from the Virginia Pirate. I think they are a ticking time bomb. Jerry Jones has not been a player in free agency. They still got to sign Michael Parsons. Now, they did bring back Ezekiel Elliott, probably a year too late, but they didn't re-up Dak Prescott. When you do that, and it's kind of a catch-22, like the Daniel Jones. Dak Prescott is better than Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Now he's lost some respect in the locker room. How much can you tell me knowing you ain't going to be here? Right? How much can I respect you give you the respect when you make a mistake and I know you gone next year? Like if you miss me on a deep comeback or something, it's going to be a different reaction. So he's gone. Dak doesn't do well. Mike McCarthy is gone. Jerry Jones too old to be trying to talk about we're going to win another Super Bowl. Cowboys are over. They're not talented enough defensively. They showed last year they aren't big enough to do so, to play against San Francisco.
Well, Green Bay.
You took the words right out of my Green Bay. I don't even think they'll be able to handle the Rams with their running attack. Detroit, right? They got lucky in that Detroit game. The referee, I don't know what he was, right? Detroit. That is a great take by the Virginia Pirate. And then obviously, Jerry Jones is always going to fire a coach.
More likely to be in Dallas at this time next year, Dak Prescott or Tom Brady?
What Tom Brady going to be doing? Playing?
Belichick comes if Jerry Jones goes all in on Belichick?
You seen the roast. That ain't meant no way you meant in the relationship between Tom and
Bill want Dak though?
Dak gone. Dak is gone. I would just probably say if it doesn't work out, I'd say there's probably more of a chance that Brady can play it. I don't know why Tom Brady would want to play.
Dak Prescott or Trevor Lawrence in Dallas? More likely.
I don't know. You think Jacksonville will let him go?
Jacksonville didn't take that step, right? That was last year was Jacksonville's year to win the division, and they didn't do it. If Jacksonville thinks they can get something for Trevor,
yeah, and Dallas is dumb enough to
sell everything off.
Yeah,
yeah,
I could see him doing it. Probably trade Michael Parsons too.
That makes salaries match.
Yeah, they'll trade to Pittsburgh or so. Here you go. Just take the best defensive player in the league. I don't know, man. I think Dallas is in a transition year, and they're not recognizing it.
They never recognize it.
I know, but this year it is. You didn't do anything free agency. Your draft was okay, right? You left your starting left tackle. He gone. You bring back your running back a year too late. You struck out on Pollard. He's gone. You don't believe in Dak. You got CD Lamb and what else? A couple guys on defense.
See, I'm looking to trade CD then.
Yeah.
As much as it's going to hurt, but if you know Dak's gone, get CD's money off the books too.
If I'm CD, I got to get paid though before you get me off the books.
Oh yeah.
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 I don't know. I mean, I think they're just in some trouble, and that's just the way it goes. And that's just Dallas. They've over leveraged themselves and underperformed, and then Jerry Jones, for whatever reason, didn't want to spend any money, and I don't know why. There's not a real reason why they shouldn't. They have holes, especially on defense. You lost your defensive coordinator as well, who was actually probably coaching like he was always the Commanders the last game anyway. So, anyways, a little bit longer segment. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, quick break, and we're going to come back, and I think we're going to turn it over to Strick and Clester for WTF.
And
Cade on a Thursday. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, we'll holler at you.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The first ever Pro Volleyball Federation Championship is set. The Omaha Supernovas will face the Grand Rapids Rise this Saturday at the CHI Health Center in Omaha in the match for $1 million for the right to claim the title in the inaugural season of the Pro Volleyball Federation. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 2:30 p.m. with first serve at 3:30. Make sure to tune in for the next Ag Appraisal Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Pro Volleyball Federation Radio Network.
It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
The best time to have your air conditioner serviced is before you really need it. Call Bryant now and schedule your spring air conditioning service check. No matter what brand equipment you have, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean, inspect, and test to make sure it's ready to cool efficiently when hot weather hits. You'll stay cool and comfortable when you need it most. Just call 467-1111 to schedule your air conditioning check. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
Hey Husker fans, whether you're looking for some baseball gear, graduation gifts, or some new Husker apparel, Alumni Hall delivers your ultimate Husker shopping destination. Shop top brands like Adidas, Peter Millar, Columbia Golf, and more. Join the Alumni Hall Hall Pass rewards, and for every $150 you spend, you'll earn $10 in reward bucks. Nebraska students and faculty and all military receive 10% off with every in-store purchase with ID. Come see us at Alumni Hall, P Street, South Point Pavilions, or alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, it's where Huskers shop.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
How do people feel about getting big fitness energy at Planet Fitness for $1 down and $10 a month? They feel as thrilled as a kid the first summer they're tall enough to ride the roller coaster! That's right. When you join Planet Fitness right now, you'll get access to tons of equipment and free fitness training in a clean and spacious club. Don't wait. Join the judgment-free zone today for that all-day energy. Download the free Planet Fitness app and join today for $1 down, $10 a month.
Deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies and some light winds with an afternoon high around 78. Tonight, expecting mainly clear skies with an overnight low around 54. And tomorrow, mainly sunny skies return a little warmer with a high around 84. I'm meteorologist Kyle Cluck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Just kidding, it's on the block. We're back. Something like that. Austin Strick with you here for just a second. And bring Stricky in because Stricky is up next for WTF. Been a minute, Stricky. Welcome back to the airways for WTF.
Not too long. It wasn't too crazy of time gone by.
Good. What's coming up on WTF tonight, my man?
WTF, we're going to talk about some WNBA controversies. And is it really a controversy? Not really. Just rookie debuts out of Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark, what that looked like. Just kind of something similar to what we touched on when we talked a little bit earlier about that process and possibly what that looks like. Talk about NBA viewership and how in the Jordan era it was up near 6 million and it's down significantly.
You know who wore number 6 for a while?
Your boy.
LeBum.
Your boy
LeBum.
And then we'll talk a little bit about Bronny James and kind of how he's been doing in the combine, what that looks like, and the prospects of him. Is he ready? We'll talk about those things today.
There you go. That's WTF. Strick and Cluster coming up next here on 93.7 Ticket, ticketfm.com. For Jay, I'm Austin. Don't go anywhere. WTF right after this.